today. I might change it throughout, just in an attempt for you to kind of be able to see a little bit more of what I'm doing on the anvil out there. I really need to probably make this door open the other way around, or some shit, I don't know, or maybe just have a different way of opening. First, maybe just slide it or something, because it takes up quite a lot of room just to swing it outwards. So we've got a couple of titanium saws from yesterday that they're getting there quite nicely. Freehanding these bevels, so they're not the super neatest of things, but they're also not completely terrible. They need a bit more work yet. This one is on its way. We've got this piece here that I've been working on as well on the anvil. I'm not actually sure what I'm going to do with it yet. I'd intended it to be some sort of knife, so handle, form this into a kind of bolster, and then some sort of weird blade. I've got plenty of metal there, but I'm still not really entirely sure what I'm doing with it. So yeah, there's that. This is a bit large for what I really had in mind. I might have to just draw this out a bit more yet, I think. Yeah, I've got a few little projects down here for the limestone. This is one I finished a while ago that I want to put a better finish to. I only really finished it off quickly just for the hell of it. That was a practice piece. It needs an awful lot of sanding and grinding to make any sort of acceptable shape. And that's the sibling blade of the other single bevel that I did. I quite like the shape of that, so I just need to finish it off. Down here in the pile of things to grind. Unfortunately, I find the pile of things to grind is often quite large, and the pile of things to forge is not as big as I want. Just trying to cogitate on what to actually forge today. I've also got this little bit of me that kind of wants to turn that metal into the kind of pair of weird tongs. So that bit that I've built up in the centre, that sort of box shape, punch a slit through it, and then make a corresponding tongue arm to go through it, sort of thing. It's just that the metal itself is wildly useless. And it's, I mean, I guess I could draw, so you get a piece of metal, you can sort of flip the top of it. So, I mean, if I left this as these were the reins, say, I could draw this out a bit more. But I'm not entirely sure what I would turn this end of the tongue into. I guess a hammer eye tongue would be possible. But it's also made out of really it's made out of leaf spring. So I don't know, I did kind of want to make some sort of blade out of it, because it should cut relatively well, you see. But I don't know, I'll think about it a bit more yet. pop like the forge, and then get to grinding the titanium on the wheel. I think you guys can kind of see the widget. I'm sorry it's not that in focus. I'm using a kind of really wide angle lens thing, and but I think the aperture on the front camera on this is kind of fixed, so I don't think it can really change how far away it looks that well. And I can't attach it to the camera on the back of the phone because it's one of those stupid 3 camera setup things, and the moment you put that in the way, it just loses its shit and goes, oh, leave my cameras alone. So it's just way better than the narrow angle because you can't see shit. So at least this gives you a rough idea. I think I'm probably going to have to invest in some sort of slightly more expensive streaming setup. Yeah, now is not a great time to be spending money. So I'm going to go grab like some gloves, goggles and shit, and yeah, I mean, forging in those isn't a great idea either. So yeah, PPE and then that, and I'll be back in a moment. I'll leave you with the noise of the fire. do with that is just countersinking the bit a bit. It's not far off. We're getting there. It's a little bit bigger than the hole at the top of the nut anyway, so. bit to get there.
Bit there, we can probably just sand the top of it down a bit to make it more fun. Pretty happy with that.
Do another one there.
Right, I've got a template now, so. Hey there, how's it going? Welcome to the forge/workshop. I've got both. So as you can see here, this is a little gas forge, and then over behind it, whichever way. There we go. Everything's mirrored. Sorry. Is a coke forge. So I use whatever I can get my hands on, really. Whatever works at the time. Well, I mean, cost efficiency wise, so here's what working on right now. On the back of the board. If you've got a forge with gas, I mean, depends on your budget, but you can pick up a forge for less than $200, €200, £200 to start, forging with. Your anvil can be had for. This is where the sort of thing is a bit of a change. You see, like if you're in the States, they tend to be a bit expensive. You don't tend to find much for around $100, $150. Whereas in the UK, you can pick up a relatively good anvil for around £100. You should also only need one hammer as well, because you should make the rest of the tools yourself. Like, it teaches you quite a lot. Also stops you from wantonly buying hammers all over the shop, so you don't end up with a massive shelf like I've got here, just full of hammers. Yeah, you can get into forging, but definitely under $500, £500. I would say it's not super cheap, but at the same time, there's more expensive habits. Also consider like the metal as well. You can pick up very cheap as scrap. So you're in the States. Okay, yeah. A 21-pound anvil, you won't really do a lot with. To put into perspective why you won't do a lot with that, that's a 13-pound hammer. So like £21 is a bit small. There's quite a bit of blacksmithing literature out there, and the majority of it is relatively agreed. Anything under 50 kilos isn't very good for production work. So if you're messing around yourself, you can pick up a smaller anvil. But if you want to make, and make big stuff as well, you're going to want something that's it's about £100 at least in weight. My anvil's here. I'll take you for a little tour afterwards. But the anvil's here, so I'm just going to try and stand somewhere so I don't mess with the signal reception to the phone. If I stand directly in the door, I mess with the signal. So the anvils I've got here, the large one here is a 221. That's £221. That's Peter Wright. I got super lucky on that. I managed to score it from someone's barn, basically. The guy on the price with it basically said if I could lift it to my car, I could have it for a certain price, because he had to use a forklift to move it. I just picked it up. The smallest anvil I have is probably 25 kilos maybe, so £40, something like that. That's a really small knife maker's anvil, which is great for fine work. It's a lovely little anvil. It's a really nice little French one. I could probably pick it up and show it you. Wait right there. So yeah, that little guy there. That's a little knife maker's anvil. Yeah, £4 hammer on a £21 anvil. Nah, you'll ruin it. That's a £4 hammer. I wouldn't. It's they're task dependent. Like if you go, if it's a cheap anvil, the question is how much does it really matter to you? Like, you know, if it's just for teaching you, then I guess it doesn't matter so much. But I mean, the chances are you will break that anvil at some point, hitting it with a hammer that big. All you have to do is miss or let the metal get too cold, and it's not going to last a long time. Yeah, I wouldn't go any bigger than sort of a £2, £2.5 hammer on that at all. But you can, it still gives you plenty of options. Oh, I'm really messing with the stream somehow. Ah, no, wait, I know what's going to happen. Wait there. Yeah, sorry about that. The Mrs. phone had decided it wanted to upload to OneDrive. So yeah, small hammer on a small anvil like that, but it'll still give you plenty of access to do plenty of things, you know. You just won't be able to make things like big hammers. Well, I don't know whether you'll be able to make a hammer at all on an anvil that size, but I mean, prove me wrong, please. But yeah, anvils don't... It's nothing special in that respect. You can just go buy a big block of steel and use that for an anvil. You know, yeah, don't be too put off by, you know, doing things by the book. If you're doing it really cheaply, it doesn't necessarily matter so much. Just have fun with it, you know. Oh, nice. Sorry, I have to get that close to see the screen sometimes. Yeah, man, like, I mean, if I let people tell me what I could and couldn't do on the forge, I'd probably never got started, to be honest with you. You know, things like these hammers. I've met other smiths who've gone, oh, you shouldn't be able to make that, you know. These are forge welding at either end with tool steel, and then wrought iron centres. And you know, they go, oh, you've got to make 1,000 nails first, or some sort of bollocks, and it's just crap, man. Find the bit you enjoy and get good at doing it. There is just going to be points where you will come up against, you know, not having a kind of more traditional education in this sort of shit. So like, I find like, because I've not apprenticed with anyone, like I just started doing this a couple of years ago. Like sometimes I just come up against a brick wall, you know, because it's just something I don't have any experience with, or it's something that you kind of you get by luck rather than, you know, process or whatever. So it has a really weird way of doing something. So there's a fair where I kind of tend to get hung up. I'm lucky that I've got one blacksmith who's not what I call a dirty wizard. So he'll like tell you his processes because he's not bothered. He doesn't hide what he does. I find the problem with a lot of smiths is that they kind of hide. They want to hide part of their process. They want to kind of keep stuff a secret. And it's like a massive problem. Both for like the growth of the art, the craft itself that's dying, and also just for knowledge in general. Like, you know, if you're really that good at something, it shouldn't matter who you tell how you do it. Like, you know, what matters is that you do it because you're really good at doing it. And people seem to have sort of forgotten that. In wake of wanting to make, you know, a flashy YouTube video or something, I don't know. But yeah, I'm always happy to show the process of what I do, because I'm trying to record the whole thing and just show people the start to finish process and the whole fuck up as well, because that's how I learn personally. It's super hard to get solid advice, dude. Like, I really, really, really hate it. It's a massive bugbear of mine. Like, I hate the fact that people have this, like, it's kind of, I don't know, it's just this weird attitude that you have to become good enough in their eyes before you're allowed to know something. And that's like super separatist, and I don't rock that kind of shit, man. It's just bullshit. All that really says to me is they're scared of you becoming better than them, and that doesn't really say a lot about how good they are at their craft. Like, you know. We got a circle there now, as good as it needs to be. We'll get the hot cut out, chop this off there, sort of draw that out into a handle, then squash it down into a bottle opener. Oh, I'm making a bottle opener here. Sorry. So yeah, what I'm doing at the moment, what we've done is started with a piece of metal like this, and just sort of flatten the end of it out. Then I put a slit down it with a chisel, and then bash that down to sort of make it a little round hole, and then widen that out with a drip. That then gives us the sort of rough shape to begin making a bottle opener with. What we're going to do next is we're just cutting the bottom of the where the handle's going to be off. And then we've got to put a little divot in there for the bit that sort of, sits under the bottle cap and pops it off. And then squash the top of it down just to give it that elliptical shape so it's not, a perfect circle, because that doesn't work as a bottle opener. So, yeah, if you've got any other questions as we go in, just ask. I do try and describe sometimes, but a lot of the time I forget because I'm just too engrossed in the blacksmithing, I like to try and just keep myself busy. It doesn't necessarily end up in a project a week. Always got something on the go. It's always something that I need to be doing. The flux actually just turned up, so I can fire the coke forge up in the next couple of days and do some forge welding, which is one of my preferred. So one of my favorite. To be honest, it's one of my favourite things to do. Just be nice. I've got quite a bit of wrought iron, but in strips. So they plenty of these strewn about the countryside. Strips of wrought iron from old fences. So I collect those up. Weld them up into billet, and I like making hammers out of those. They make really nice hammers. But I've been working on these titanium swords for quite a while, and they're just kicking my ass, to be honest with you. They just take so long to grind down. They wreck belts. Basically it's like two belts just to bevel the solid things. It's so fucking loud. Yeah, just drawing this out now. Getting material, genuinely, find your local steel suppliers and they will have offcuts. Super fucking cheap, like really fucking cheap. I pay like 50 pence a kilo for steel for offcuts. So what, 75 cents or something? Less than $1 a kilo, man. It's waste to them. Like once they've done a material order or something, they get these little bits left over. It's just waste. It goes in a scrap bin, gets melted down again. It costs them for that to happen. So if you go along and buy it, you're saving them money. And then yeah, salvage shit. Go to scrap yards, all sorts of shit. We've got to make knives, leaf spring, great stuff. Piece of it floating around here somewhere. I've got a big piece, but I don't want it off. Look at that small piece of leaf spring gone. Yeah, it's like this. Look. Freight. Depends what I'm doing, to be honest with you, mate. Like, you know, if it's something that I've done 1,000 times, like drawing material out or making hammers, super confident at making hammers. I love making hammers. You know, but I started making hammers from kind of almost when I started blacksmithing. It's stuff that I'm not confident at all doing now. There's stuff that I've still not done. But I've only been blacksmithing for just coming up for 2 years myself. So I'm by no means an expert. You know, I do it, I have the chance to do it every day. So I've managed to build up quite a lot of experience within that time. But like, it depends. Confidence is a weird thing, man. Like, I don't necessarily, you know, I'm not necessarily super confident in all of my abilities. But like, I'll take on any task and give it a go. You know, it's not to the point where it puts me off. And I think that's just a point where you kind of need to mediate yourself anyway. Like, just being wary of new tasks and how much work they might take, but also at the same time understanding that unless you take that on, like, you never get to grow as a crafter. So like, find the happy medium kind of thing, you know. You know, I feel like to a large extent it's about being able to make a lot of mistakes. I keep a drawer full, just to remind myself that things I've fucked up along the way. So, things as simple as just making a piece of metal a certain shape, you know, you can fuck that up, getting it too hot in the coke fire. Okay, piece of wrought iron it's just beyond repair from where I let that get too hot. A lot of my mistakes were letting things get too hot in the coke fire, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, you destroy the properties of a lot of the materials when you start to burn the carbon off. So in the coke forge, because that gets so fucking hot, like it could literally just burn the metal away. And that's definitely not fixable at that point. Yeah. Stuff like this, where you know I've just gone in way too cold to try and drift it, split the entire piece of wrought. There's a chance you can get it to work and be fixed, but then the end's got some cracks in it. It's just not worth it. So I just got to keep these things to remind myself to be a bit mindful. Like that. It's not terribly ruined, but there's these sort of cracks in the weld here. You know, that's and all over it, where it's just got too hot. And I've not allowed it to anneal properly, and every other reason under the sun. Oh, there's that bit of leaf spring. Yeah, leaf springs. Off trucks. They snap these fucking things all the time. They end up in fucking scrap yards, scrap piles. They're worth fuck all, dude. It's really hard steel. You can make quite a good knife with it. It's not the same as starting with perfect steel. You know, it's obviously seen an awful lot of stress, but it's good material for, you know, practicing with, man. Nothing wrong with being a scrapsmith. Nothing wrong with it at all. At least not until, you know, you get confident in just moving the metal about. You know, when you're confident in using different shapes on the end of a hammer to move metal in different places, you don't care about the way the face is being affected at that time, or the shape that it's sort of twisting off, because you know you can fix that. That's the point that I'm kind of at right now, where I hammer something and there's not anything that I hammer in that I'm like, shit, how have I done that? I've messed something up and I don't know how to fix it. There was quite a period of that for the first year, but my biggest advice I can give to anyone who's doing that on an anvil is when you're hammering something and it's just going the wrong way, you can't stop it. Do completely the opposite thing. So keep the hammering motion the same, but flip the piece, if you can, the opposite way around, and do the same thing again. Or flip where you're hitting it if you can't move the piece, you know. Like, do one thing, just change one thing, and make it the complete opposite of what you're doing. And I find a lot of the time is that actually, for me, fixes the fuck up. You know, I'll be hammering something away, and I'm like, it's just going off on this one angle, and I can't figure out why, and all I've got to really do is flip it 180 and hammer it in the same way, and it brings it back to straight again. You know, or something will get a twist in it, and it's because I've been holding something slightly off as I've been flattening one part out or whatever. It's just learning how to deal with those and not care that it's happening as well. Just go, right, okay, well I can knock the corners off that and flatten it back out again or whatever. But that's only something you'll learn from just getting on the anvil and just experimenting. It's not really something that you can just learn through a book. It's like it's you know, it's a physical sort of thing you have to learn process-wise. That's a really good question, dude. And to answer it, an anvil. I would fucking love to make an anvil. I've watched them hand forged in some old footages. I've seen a lot of old drawings and instructions and sort of like in old forge welding books and shit like that. And I would absolutely love to make an anvil. Well, I am going to make one. Might start off really small. You know, won't be a fucking huge thing, but I'll start off making small sort of thick anvils, you know, and move my way up as I go. My coke forge I have back there is more than large enough for me to do a relatively decent sized piece in, I think, and forge weld. Yeah, that's probably my dream project. I also really want to have a go at a lock, old school style. But I haven't really kind of figured that out in my head yet, so I'm further away from that. That's more of a, you know, an ongoing dream project. What about yourself, man? Like, what is it you kind of that drew you to blacksmithing? You know, what was it that made you want to make shit out of metal? You know, often find that's quite an interesting one. The differs quite variedly between people as well. Yeah, nice. So you're quite interested in the artist side of blacksmithing then, as opposed to sort of the toolsmithing or anything like that. Yeah, man, I mean, fair play. I mean, for me personally, like artists, blacksmithing like that is just something completely removed for me. I don't really have the skill set. I work quite well with like systems and that sort of shit. So yeah, the creativity side that the artist sort of bit requires isn't necessarily something I really do. But it requires an awful lot of skill, man, like an awful lot of skill. Very fine hammer work, you know, thin metal, that sort of stuff. Not something I'm very good at. When I do these sorts of small decorative items, which people could argue would be some sort of art, I mean they're quite kind of based on a tool, so I find it quite easy, you know. Checking the forge brusher. But yeah, the artist side of things is not something that comes very easy to like myself, at least. You can do it, like, yeah, it's great, man. Fucking, yeah, go for it. I think mostly people start off making leaves, that sort of thing. So, it starts off as a square bar, and makes yourself a leaf from it. Like, that'll definitely teach you an awful lot, trying to make something like that. That was something a friend of mine came here, he's a blacksmith as well, and made, and was like, no, replicate that. I've never been able to replicate it, it's not something I'm very good at, but that sort of thing is, if you want to make, you know, the more decorative art-based stuff, yeah, concentrate on that sort of skill. I mean, definitely, he recommended making leaves, petals, like that sort of thing. And then you can progress to more complex organic shapes, you know. So, you on about the way take a piece of flat bar and then split it out so that it forms a cross with a little hole in the centre? So you take a piece of bar like this, and then yeah, pull two straights out the side. Yeah, it's quite cool. As far as I know, it's actually a lot easier than it looks. I'm yet to give it a try though. Maybe I'll give that a go as a project. Not a bad idea. But yeah, as far as I know, you put a split in it one way, and a split across that same split in the other to give it two ways to split apart, and then upset down the long split, and it will push your two sides out from the cross, from what I understand. Still not trying to make one though. Definitely want to give it a go. I was probably about 8 years old, something like that, and my parents moved into this house that had got a fuck ton of lead in the garden, like old piping. It was like an old Victorian place, and I spent quite a large portion of my childhood just melting that down over fires and just smelting it into shapes. At that point on, I was pretty heavily interested in like metallurgy and just forming metal and stuff like that. Got to the point where I just, you know, it was going to be one of those things that if I didn't do it, I was going to regret it. So I did it. Yeah, just this. I generally have like this benign interest in these sorts of things. I really enjoy the way, you know, such a long time our technology was basically reliant on a hammer and an anvil. You know, at some scale it still is, mostly. yeah, basically a combination of curiosity and a want to make things. I would absolutely love some of that stuff you've got over in Minnesota right now. We didn't get any of that this year. We just got like, well, this is Britain, so rain. And then this weird sun, now that the lockdown thing's going on. Yeah, I saw someone, a Facebook group posted up a picture the other day with just like a shit ton of snow. I was like, oh, and they said they were in Minnesota. So yeah, it's crazy, man. Like, yeah, sure, send it my way. I'll have some snow, please. I'm roasting right now. Starving as well, actually. Yeah, snow's only fun for like, you know, a few days, and it starts to get in the way of everything. that's kind of the gist of it, basically. Yeah, just fed up people dying, man. Like the rest of it, we lost my grandmother last night, my dad's side. I don't know whether it was COVID or not. She was all confirmed anyway. Yeah, it's not cool, man. Jeez. Man, I don't even know where to start with people like that. But most of it starts with a hammer and ends with me in prison. Like, I despair a lot of the time. Like, what I think the craziest thing about it all is mostly if you'd have said to people before all this shit, tell you what, like, I mean, because like people here anyway, most people are on 80% of their wage right now, so admittedly they're losing 20% of their income. I get it. But like, if you'd have been like, tell you what, you get 80% of your wage, but you have to do fuck all, or you can take 100% of your wage and do all your work, most people probably would have chosen the 80% for fuck all. And then, now, it's like just a thing we have to do, like they just can't do it. I don't know, it doesn't, I don't understand some things, man. That's one of the things I don't understand. I mean, yeah, I get the inconvenience as well, and I get how it's different for people's routines. But like, sometimes shit just happens, man. And like, it's times like this I really think where people show their abilities to adapt and do things. Like, you know, some people just can't handle that lack of structure. Bit of a weird one. Yeah, where we're at now. Put a little divot in that. Going to squash the top of that down. We should be pretty much done. go, so the spinning the handle, basically, in the vise there, clamp the bottom of it, and then use one of these thumb detecting nut fuckers. Put it on there when it's hot and just twist. That gives you that there. Yeah, there we go. There's a little bottle opener project there today. It needs sealing in some oil, but unfortunately all the numpties have bought all the oil, so I can't find any fucking oil. And some rat managed to get into my shed and ate all of my quench oil. There was like 4 litres of that shit, and a rat ate all of it. Like, there's a seriously greasy rodent around here somewhere now. So yeah, until that happens, like until we get more oil somewhere, I can't really seal things. But yeah, that's finished for today. So I'm going to call it there because I'm absolutely knackered and I'm pretty starving. So thanks for joining. I really appreciate the interaction, man. It's really nice to have someone to have a chat with while I'm out on the forge. But yeah, on that, I'm gonna go and get food. Oh dear, so I'm dying of hunger. Yeah, it was good to speak to you, man. And yeah, you know, tune in next time. If you got any fucking questions, feel free. I'm always about. There's the Discord down there. You know, you can always just pop a question in there if you've got a blacksmithing question. There's a blacksmithing chat room in there, and I'll get back to you at some point. But yeah, okay, thanks for joining, and yeah, until next time, peace out.